Hi there, I'm Squints-a-lot. I am a broadcaster on Twitch. And this is an origin story. I started broadcasting on Twitch in 2014. And I started pretty much for the same reason anybody starts. I just wanted to share the love of games with other people. At the time, I didn't have any friends in real life who were gamers. In fact, most of my friends were 10, 20, 30 years older than me. And we'll come back to that. So I started streaming to be able to talk about the games that I loved. But it very quickly became something else entirely. My channel grew a lot faster than I expected it to. I didn't really expect much of anything. I just wanted to play video games and talk about the video games. But people came in, and they kept coming back. And I was flabbergasted, quite honestly. I remember talking to one of my mods at the time, Cross159. One night we had a very, very long Skype call, and she asked me why I was streaming. What was I getting out of it? Why do this? I mean, she was basically like a toddler. Why? Every answer I'd come up with, she'd ask, why again? And I am eternally grateful to her for that conversation, because she kept asking me why until I got down to the root of it. During that conversation, I realized that streaming had come to fill a void that was missing in my real life. Something I once had, but didn't realize was missing now. Like every single person on Earth, I've had good times and I've had bad. I've had triumphs and challenges. I've succeeded and I have failed. During a very difficult time in my life, I found myself at church. A very special church. It was very small, but there was something magic there. That church and the pastor who led it met everyone where they were. There were no hoops to jump through to be accepted and to be loved. And I found that church at a time in my life when I really, really needed love. At a time where I felt very alone. And I threw myself into that church. At the time, I was 29 years old. And I was one of the youngest members at this church. I felt grateful for the love and support that this church community showered on me. And so I tried to give back. I volunteered to lead Sunday school and Bible studies before church on Sundays. I didn't really feel like a teacher, but I wanted Sunday school to happen. I wanted that Bible study to happen. And I wasn't the only one, but I was the one who was willing to facilitate. And so I volunteered. And I studied and prepared every week to lead an hour-long group discussion. I'd get to church early even earlier than when the Bible study started. And I would help set up the church. Anything the pastor needed set up for the day, I'd help. I needed love, and they were giving it to me, and I was so grateful. And I made a lot of friends. One of those friends saw something in me that I didn't believe was there. And she refused to let me hide. I remember one evening at the church, I don't even remember why I was there, some church activity. And I was sitting outside with her on the bench. And she said, "You know, I think you'd make a great elder." And I just laughed. I laughed at her because I was one of the youngest members of the church. I said to her, I'd be the youngest elder ever. And I just laughed it off. And later that week, I got a phone call from my pastor telling me that my friend Sheila had nominated me to be an elder. And would I accept the nomination? My pastor told me that she thought I'd be a good elder. And I felt so broken, so useless. I didn't see what they saw. But it was a calling, right? My pastor and my friend, they saw in me something that I didn't see. And they asked me to serve. And so I agreed to accept the nomination, even though I didn't feel worthy. And the following Sunday, it was put to a vote at church, and I became an elder. I became a leader. And I felt like the blind leading the blind. But I was gonna do the best I possibly could. And so I would listen to people, hear their struggles, pray for them, pray with them. I would lead services on Sundays and serve communion. I never did feel like a leader or that I knew how to lead. But being an elder, it taught me that leadership is service. And I can serve. And I did serve. And I served well. So well that there were more ways that people put me forth as a leader. I was asked to develop educational programs. I was asked to lead worship committees. I was asked to be a lay minister. And every single opportunity to lead was just a request for service. Will you serve And I can serve. I can serve. And it was good. I felt love and I gave love. And my heart was full. And no, life wasn't perfect. But I had purpose. I did good. I was good. I gave back. Joyfully, with gratitude for all I had been given. And my friend Sheila started it all. And it was often her putting my name forward for other opportunities to serve. And then Sheila got sick. She had lung cancer. She was a strong, ornery woman. I thought, for sure, nothing could beat Sheila. But I was wrong. When the doctors found it and ran tests, they discovered that it was already stage 4, that it had already metastasized and spread throughout her body. Her daughter told me that when the doctor told her all of this, Sheila, being the no-nonsense, ornery woman that she was, just kind of shrugged it off. She said, "I've been smoking my whole life. It's not that big a surprise. How long do I have?" The doctors told her that chemo might be able to extend her life up to a year or so. But she would be sick. She would hurt. She'd be in pain. She'd be tired. She'd be weak. And Sheila asked, how long would I have without chemo? And the doctors told her probably a few weeks. Sheila decided to forego treatment. What was the point of extending her life if she couldn't enjoy the extra time? If she'd just be sick? If she would just be a burden on her family? She lived for 2 weeks. Her daughters were with her. Her church family came to say their goodbyes. And one morning, I got a phone call from her daughter telling me Sheila had passed away. It was the first time in my life that I had lost a friend, lost someone whose absence would be noticeable in my daily life. And it shook me to the core. My whole world was turned upside down, and nothing made sense anymore. And I could not reconcile the pain I was feeling, the pain Sheila's daughters and grandchildren were feeling, with a loving and compassionate God. And for 2 years, I wrestled with that. How a loving God could allow such pain. I continued to serve at church as an elder, as a teacher, as a leader. But all the while I struggled. I struggled with the nature of God. I struggled with the existence of God. I continued to serve because I loved the people. And whether or not there was a God, there was me and I could love. And whether or not there was a God to love me, they loved me. But over the course of a couple of years after Sheila died, slowly, God died too. It just became more and more absurd to me to try to comfort people with God language, to be there for people and tell them that God loved them when I didn't believe he was even there anymore. And when eventually God died completely in my mind and in my heart, I no longer knew how to serve these people that I loved. They needed God, and I couldn't give them God anymore. And so I stopped going to church. And I miss them all terribly. What followed was a long, long period of darkness for me. I was alone again. And this time I couldn't even reach out to that invisible God. So when Cross asked me why I was streaming and what I was getting out of streaming, and she kept asking why, eventually I got down to this story. And I realized that as I met new people who came into my channel, And as I connected with people in the community, both on Twitch and outside of it, I found myself time and time again in a position to serve. I was able to help people. Sometimes with silly little technical issues. Sometimes with grief. Sometimes with feelings of loneliness. Sometimes with feelings of worthlessness. I was able to serve. Streaming restored for me a sense of purpose. New people would find the stream, and there were just more and more opportunities for me to serve. And I was building something very similar to the community I was missing at church. Only this time it wasn't all wrapped up in God language. It was just you and me and being enough for each other. But as more and more people found the channel and found that balm for the soul, I started to feel overwhelmed, feeling like I wasn't able to serve everyone, to be there for everyone. And I couldn't be there for everyone. And it was frustrating, and I didn't know how to get past that, how to scale the community, this beautiful family built on love and trust and valuing one another. And at the same time, I also could not pay my bills. So I stopped. Both because I needed to get a job that would pay me better, and also because I was scared. And I was lost. And I didn't know where to turn for help. I'm back now, streaming on Twitch, and trying things here on YouTube. But coming back to it and understanding what it is I'm trying to achieve, what it is I'm trying to give, it's really overwhelming. I feel like it's insurmountable. At my church, I was a leader. Here, I'm the leader. And that feels like a lot of responsibility. And I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of letting you down, of disappointing you, of not being able to help everyone who wants my help. Since I've started broadcasting again, and even here on YouTube, I've been hiding behind the games because it feels safer. But playing video games for you, it's not fulfilling. It doesn't fill me with a sense of purpose. So, I'm gonna try something different. I enjoy games, And I will continue to play games on Twitch. It's something that we can do together until someone needs something more important. So yeah, we can keep joking about how I get distracted by chat. But the truth is, I love it when you guys distract me. Because you are way more important to me than a stupid video game. Listening to you, talking with you, lifting you up, that's what fills me with purpose. On YouTube, I just don't think games fit with what I want to be able to do. I will finish the Let's Play that I'm currently working on because I hate leaving things half finished. But after that, I want to do something different. I'm not really sure how to be there for people on YouTube. It's a lot easier on Twitch in real time. So there's gonna be an adjustment period here. I am gonna be awkward and bumbling, but somehow I'm gonna figure out how to get the message out here on YouTube. You are not alone. You are loved. You are worthy. You are seen. You are heard. You belong.